Right guys, so in this video we're going to take a look at how to win more solo games on Sanhok in Pubg for consoles. So a lot of the strategies are similar to what we've been through on the other maps, but Sanhok does present its own unique set of challenges. For example, on Sanhok you've always got to be wary of when you shoot your gun, because pretty much everything's in running distance. So a lot of the time what I personally like to do is, if I hear gunshots, head in that direction and try and pick people off as they're either mid-fight with somebody or coming to a close in their fight. And that's a tactic that you can use. However, at the beginning of the game, it's fairly simple. So again, what I like to do to help win the games is land somewhere that I'm confident with, land somewhere that I've landed a lot, so you're familiar with it. So I know, obviously, I've landed here before, so I always tend to land on the jetty. I was a bit unlucky with the loot this time. I did see, however, as I was landing in, that there was an enemy with me, and I get my first gun, load it up, and then continue looting. And this is pretty much the same as what you have at the beginning of any game. You get some loot, you take out your immediate threats, you get some more loot, and then you head towards the ring. So this is going to be no different to that. So again, I saw that guy running there then and shut the door behind him. So I'm going to go and take him out. Reason for this is because I don't want to risk him getting better guns than me, and, you know, having a really easy time killing me. So I'm checking out the windows, trying to find where he's hiding. He's not moving, so I know that he is hiding. And again, it's just like a little thing that I did when I went through the door there. I always check the corner that the door's not open. So the door opened when it was covering my left, so I always check the right first. And the reason for that is because if he was on the left behind the door, then he has possibly a second and a half where he has to step to the left to get a shot on me, which means if I've looked the wrong way to the right and then I have to spin round, that's the second where I get to spin round and, you know, get in the fight. Whereas if I look towards the door side first, it's going to take me 2 seconds to look fully around it. So if he's on the other side, I'm gunned down in that time. So that's just a little thing that I tend to do. So yeah, I killed that guy. He was hiding, and can't remember what that screenshot was, but that's funny. So I killed that guy, and I'm just going to loot these places now and then move on. So I've finished my looting of those 2 places there with the jetties, and then I'm just heading to the next town that's a bit more into the ring, with the aim of topping up my loot and then, you know, just getting ready for the next ring to come in. One thing you've got to remember on Sanhok, especially in your initial landing location, is that you've got to loot really quickly, because the ring comes in extremely fast in the first couple of rings on Sanhok. So you have to loot quick, be agile, and get on your way. I think Vikendi is the polar opposite to that, because, and so with Miramar as well, actually, sometimes it feels like you've been looting 5 or 6 minutes at the beginning of the game before you ever see the blue coming in. Whereas Sanhok, you have to be really quick. So even though I was in the ring already, I set off into the ring quite early, because I know that the next one might jump, and then the time in between isn't that far, then I want to get a bit more looting in. Again, I'm just checking my flanks here, checking has anybody been looting that area. If they have, I'll be expecting them to come my way. I can't see any sign of looting there, so I'm just carrying on for now. Now as I arrive here, the doors are open. So I realise that this has been looted. I hear gunshots, what sounds like just on the far side of the town. I'm just picking up a bit of ammo first, just in case it's a prolonged fight. So I'm heading to the gunfire with the intention of finishing off whoever survives the fight. The guy's there, he's definitely heard me. I shoot a couple of warning shots there, but I move my position, and the reason for this is I know he's just been in combat. He's probably trying to heal up first, and then literally one shot on him. I did check the Pubg report a couple of days later on this one, and literally I did one shot to that guy for about 18-ish damage, and that was all it took to kill him. So he hadn't had time to heal yet from his previous fight with this bloke. But again, that's a classic example of what can happen on Sanhok. Gunfire happens, and before you've even had a chance to heal, someone else has turned up looking for a kill. On this occasion, it went in my favour, and then I just, you know, again, I heard a grenade go off in that distance, so I'm just heading in that direction, looking to see what I can see. I try and check out with the sniper at first, and I can't see anything. So as I approach and get closer, the gunshots are getting louder and more frequent. I spot this guy here. Now, I could have shot straight away, but I want to find out where the enemy is. So he's there. I now know where both these blokes are. He stood still there, so I decided to take him out. Now, as you'll see in a second, this guy comes and looks. Now, he probably heard the Kar-98 shot, but just didn't realise that I was so close. Once he realised that that guy's dead, he starts to try and pull back in a second. He's still trying to work it out like at the minute. He starts to pull back, but again, he was damaged already, and that one shot was enough to finish him. Now, that bloke there who was running back, pulling back to his tree, he was actually streaming on Mixer at the time. So again, on the Pubg report, I saw it from his perspective. Now, from his perspective, I watched it, and more importantly, I was listening carefully, and you can hear my Kar-98 shot, but you can't see me, I don't think, at any point on his screen because of the way that I was at the tree, and maybe there was a shadow or whatever, but I never spotted myself, so that's why he missed me. But he just didn't take note of the Kar-98, and again, that's something else to always try and be aware of. If you're fighting with someone like that, and you hear shots that's even semi-close, try not to get the tunnel vision. But yeah, I mean, there was not a lot he could do in that one. If I'd have missed, then it would have been back in a one-on-one. But luckily I had a good shot that time. Now, I've just looted this town, and the final ring's come in. So again, I'm just heading towards the ring to get myself a bit of a better position. And again, as I'm running with the ring, I see a crate over in the distance over here. I'm approaching quite cautiously because I don't know how long it's been there. The smoke does go off for a while usually, so I'm being quite cautious just to see if anybody's looted it or if anybody's hanging back like me with a sniper. But I think I decide in the end that it's worth the risk potentially to get with hoping a Grozer, I think would be the best thing for me. Can't actually quite remember which weapon was in there, but I'm sure we'll find out in a second. So again, I'm just waiting for a sec. Is there any movement? Is there anybody coming? Now, I do hear a vehicle. Now, luckily it stopped smoking, so he continued past. At this point, I'm confident that there's nobody there, so I got to loot it. Oh, it was an M249 on this occasion, which I actually leave because that's probably my least favourite crate weapon, and also one of my least favourite weapons in general. I just don't trust that weapon whatsoever. I just don't like it, but each their own. I know a lot of people have great success with it, and that's good for them. I suppose if I need to start picking up, getting more practice with it, and then I'll become more confident with the weapon. And then just to note, one thing that I like to do in this area of the map is take command of this hill up here. And the reason for that is because you have a good vantage point down towards the boot camp. You get to cover the coast, and you get to cover the way back what I've come here. And you do tend to see a lot of people travelling in with the ring quite often, which is good. And again, you've got good sniper in positions for people, all kind of ranges. And it is, again, it's a good one, and you do tend to spot a lot of people. Now, I heard a Kar-98 shot in this direction, so I'm just looking. I'm waiting for people, hopefully, to spot them running in with the ring. There was a couple more shots over that way, which was either a QBZ, I think it was. So I'm just being a bit cautious right now. I don't need to go charging across the map, because if I can hear them gunshots, the chances are someone else can. So if I go charging that way, someone might shoot me in the back. So sometimes you've got to err on the side of caution. Other times you can just go full ham. You've got to just weigh it up on the situation. But especially on Sanhok, you just need to be wary of the fact that if you hear a gunshot, then the chances are a lot of other people can hear it as well. Also, a moment ago, I did check the ring. I know that I've not got that far to run. Now, my plan of action already is to run along the coastal line, skirt around boot camp and head in. The reason I'm not going quite yet is because I've done that route many a time, and I kind of know how long it takes. So before I do that, I'm just securing my area, making sure that there's not going to be anybody immediately behind me. that's going to gun me down as I'm moving in. And that's it, because I've been waiting here at the blue for a while now. I'm relatively confident that there's nobody there, however there could always be somebody hiding. So now I'm carrying out my plan as the blue's coming in to head along the coast. Now as you are running along this coast especially, you've got to be careful because there's a lot of rocks and crags where people can hide. You've also got to be careful and look over to boot camp every now and again to make sure no one's just running up the hill towards you. There's plenty of different places where people can kind of like ambush you. But if you're careful, you can make it fairly well. There was sniper shots in boot camp as I was heading over, so I'm pretty confident there's going to be a guy there looking out towards the coast, so I've always got to try and keep my left side clear. But yeah, once I get to a position like this, I can hunker down, wait to see where the ring goes, and confront anybody that needs confronting, kind of thing. Now, as I look back, there is actually a bloke coming. No, he might have been running in with the blue earlier, but he certainly wasn't there when I was checking on that. Now, unfortunately for this guy, I don't think he's seen me. And I must have just looked at the right time. So I kind of lie in wait for him. A lot of people wouldn't like this strategy, to be fair. And I understand it, but, I mean, at the end of the day, you're playing to win the game. Charging at him like a madman, he's just throwing away any advantage that you have. No, at this point, I was actually second guessing whether he'd seen me because he seemed to have slowed down his pace a lot, and I couldn't hear his steps anymore. So I was half thinking whether he'd started swimming, but I think that what he was doing is he was healing after running in the blue, and then he comes towards me now. And then, you know, it's a fairly easy kill on my part, but you've got to do what you got to do. Now at the minute, I'm just cycling round on the edge of the ring, checking my area, making sure no one's lying in wait, checking all my different angles, knowing where my cover is, and all that kind of good stuff. Now, I'm just about to shoot a guy in the tower there, and someone's shooting at the side. Now, as I was saying before, he's ran up from boot camp up the hill, and I've just missed seeing him, unfortunately. However, I'm very confident about where he is. He's behind that tree, or running towards that tree. So I get a nade out, makes him move, and then I gun him as he goes to the next tree. That guy was pretty unlucky. I think if he'd landed his first shot as a headshot, he would have had me. But unfortunately, as I look back over there now to the tower that guy was in, he's no longer there, or he's just not peeking. I end up moving. I'm using the rock to block his field of view on me while I reload and healed. But he has his own set of problems because there was someone else trying to shoot him. So again, I'm moving towards there. Now, one of the most important things when the ring gets this side is positioning. He has a better gun. He's likely got 3 armor similar to me. But I know him / the other guy who was fighting have been running in with the ring. There he is. He's super damaged there. For some reason, he doesn't go for a heal, and then my next shot kills him. Now at this point, there's 4 guys left alive, and you usually have a couple of decisions to make here. You can start actively hunting people out, or you can just wait to see what happens and you know, be ready to pounce. Now as it happens, I was still healing, and the fighting's kicked off already, which has reduced it down to 3. So I know there's me and 2 other guys. I'm fairly confident there's no one over this side, because if there was, they'd have shot me by now, because the ring's fairly small. So I'm just moving cover to cover and trying to work out where they all are. Now, I checked on the ring, and I decided that down here in the woods with the little hill was the best position to be in. I've not spotted anybody as of yet, but again, I know if they're not up here, they're going to be on the hill, which is going to... Oh, there's a guy just down the bottom left there. But I actually spotted this guy first, but unfortunately, he also spotted me. And he's pretty content on whooping my ass. Now the guy in the bottom left just K98'd him as he was running into the ring, which is unfortunate for him. So it's me versus the guy just down there. Now I don't think he knows where I am, but the problem that I have is that I have no vest now. The second K9 shot saw to that. So I have to be quite conservative here. He doesn't know exactly where I am. He's throwing grenades about. He's running up and down trying to bait a shot at me, which I'm not going to let happen. So I decide that throwing the sneaky grenade is probably going to be the best bet. And that's it. I get him with the grenade. Unfortunately for me, just couldn't work out where I was, or just didn't know. And that's that. So that's some of the tips and strategies I use in solo Sanhok, how to win the game. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider liking and subscribing to see more. Wookie out.